Thank you, Ying of the Queen's Tech Incubator, and thank you, Man Lee of the U.S. Small Business Administration for hosting these series of chats with us Black business owners. It's really important during August, because August is National Black Business Month, that Black business owners get to share their entrepreneurial journey, some of their challenges, some of the wins. And so I'm glad to be on today to talk about building a brand. So I'll tell my story this way. For over 30 years, I worked as a public relations executive for a variety of organizations and entities, both nonprofit organizations as well as corporate institutions. In 2017, my job was eliminated, a job that I loved. And so that threw me into a whole new world. It actually gave me the opportunity to reflect and think about what I might wanted to do next with my life. Sort of like the story that Man Lee just told about Dante. And so I decided that I wanted to work with my children and establish the Nourish Spot, because I myself was on my own health journey. And when I went looking in my community for healthy food and drink, I was not able to find it because my community is considered a food desert. And so that gave me the impetus to create the Nourish Spot. And the Nourish Spot is a healthy food and beverage haven in Southeast Jamaica, Queens, which offers individuals and corporations and profits the opportunity to nourish themselves individually, as well as refresh their colleagues and their employees with smoothies, salads, sandwich wraps, cold pressed juices, waffles, protein waffles, Greek yogurt parfaits, and more. And the greatest thing about here at the Nourish Spot is you get to customize what you want to eat or drink. And so that leads me to how I built my brand. So I would tell you this, we're really proud. We've been in business since September 9th, 2017. We will experience an anniversary really, really soon. Between those two dates, between September 9th, 2017 and today, not only do we have our footprint here at the Nourish Spot at 10705 Guy Arbor Boulevard in Jamaica, Queens, New York, but we also are the first-time vendor at the New York City Hall of Science, which we are vending there today, Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. We are also a vendor at Citi Field for baseball games, soccer matches, and concerts. And we will be returning to the U.S. Open in our concession in Backyard 17. And how do I think I did that? We did that, my staff, my family, and I, we did that by creating a enduring brand. And so the one thing that I would say, how we did that, is we've created a consistent and memorable identity for the Nourish Spot. How we did that is we defined our target audience immediately. So first of all, our target audience is young people between the ages of 18 and like 55, people that are engaged in healthy living, gym rats, wellness warriors, and vegetarians as well. We also, our target audience also includes our neighbors, because we are based in a neighborhood on a main street where there's bus traffic back and forth and a lot of foot traffic, because there's a lot of homes and apartments. And so they are also our target audience. We created a unique value proposition in that we provide customization. Our nourishers, who we affectionately call our customers, they get to customize what they eat or drink from our melange of fruits and vegetables, proteins, nuts, and seeds that we keep here at the Nourish Spot. In addition to a unique value proposition, we also have core values of wholesome, real, have integrity. So those things matter. And then we built a beautiful logo using colors that you find in fruits. And we created a tagline you are what you consume, or you are what you put into yourself. With that, we built a website. We engage heavy on social media. You can find the Nourish Spot on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, not Thread, and LinkedIn. And we provide excellent customer service. So we're really proud of where we have come from with the brand and how we are moving forward with the brand. And we look forward to new and exciting opportunities. And I would say we've been able to morph from just a fast casual grab and go place into brand that people want near them in their sporting venue as well as in their corporations. So in addition to the sporting venues, we've also been invited by big companies like Nike, Hudson River Trading, and Goldman Sachs to be vendors for them for different events that they've held in their company buildings around the city, mostly in the financial district. So we're really proud of the work that we have done thus far. We look forward to partnering with others. We look forward to using all the new technologies to get the word out about the Nourish Spot, because if people don't know you exist, you don't exist. So we use every single opportunity that we have to share information about where the Nourish Spot is popping up, what our employees are doing, what media coverage we've generated or garnered. And through our website, we're also selling merch and apparel so people can engage with us in a different way. Not always what they buy to eat. Sometimes it's a digital gift card, or it's a t-shirt or a water bottle or a journal that carries the Nourish Spot name. So with that, I want to say one more thing. I forgot. The other thing about having a good brand name is when you elect to compete for grants for different programs. We were named the 2019 Micro Business of the Year by the U.S. Small Business Administration. And I am also proud to report that this year, I serve as one of the 3 individuals on the cover of the U.S. Small Business Administration's National Small Business Resource Guide. I truly think that the work that we are doing around brand awareness and brand recognition is working, and we're going to double down on our efforts going forward. Thank you very much.
That was great, Dawn. Thank you. All right. Anybody has any questions for Dawn, or anything that you heard and that reminds you of your own story or other people's story, another entrepreneur story that you want to share? Yeah, Derek.
Hello, Don. My name's Derek. Just a little brief intro about me. I'm actually a motivational speaker. I work with youth. We hold a bunch of youth incubators to explore different career paths to basically deter them from crime. And I also do like a bit of marketing on the background, like sports marketing as well. When I heard, first of all, I want to just say congratulations on all your success that you guys have managed to accumulate. Hearing about your collaborations with a lot of those major players, like you say, Goldman Sachs, Nike, they just don't work with anybody. They're very specific with who they work with. So that's a credit to your brand. And I guess I'll use that as a segue into my question is, if you could just go and explain a bit more of the process, how those partnerships were formed. Did you create a deck? Did you outsource? I know you said you worked in PR. So was that just something that, obviously if you're in PR, then I don't want to say you're pretty much, if you're in PR, I'm sure you're able to sell your brand to some capacity. So if you could just offer some insight in terms of what the process was like with dealing with Nike and Citi Field, all these different entities, and yeah, what went into it from a background perspective.
Well, thank you, Derek. So first and foremost, I would tell you that a lot of partners that I have now, because I forgot to mention one with Hudson. I'm also a partner with Hudson News. When you go in the airports and you see the Hudson News stores and you buy some.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
I'm also partners with them. I would just say that first and foremost, I asked the Hudson people how they found me, and they actually told me through my social media marketing. They actually found me through Instagram, and they contacted me through Instagram. They liked what I was posting on the Nourish Spot page, and they used that information to get in front of me because I make sure that our contact information is there. And I also want to thank Ying and the Queen's Tech Incubator, because on my Instagram page, I have a link tree. And in that tree, it has so many different articles. It has every single way to reach us through site, through our social media handles. So it gives any partner a great first resource to find out about who we are and what we do. So that's the first and foremost thing. And like I said, Hudson told me they found me through Instagram. City Field, I'm a member of the Queens Chamber of Commerce. So one of the things I would tell you all is I suggest that you join like-minded groups. So I'm a member of the Queens Chamber of Commerce, and they held an event in conjunction with City Field called the Reimagining Vision event. And I showed up. I showed up with my daughter, Jade, who is my COO. And while we were there, Steve Cohen showed up as well. As a PR person, I read the papers. So I know what people look like, and I know who the players are, who the New York are. I know who they are. And so when he came in, I asked the head of the Queens Chamber of Commerce to introduce me to him, okay? And he did. And Derek, I asked Mr. Cohen point blank, could I be at City Field? So that's how I got at City Field.
Straight up, okay.
How I got at the U.S. Open was holding concerts all around the city to try to get people to come back outside, from COVID.
Yeah.
I'm very close to the small business solutions office in New York City because they helped me get my business open. And so I reached out to them and asked them how I could be a part of the event. And they put me in touch with the people we got a contract, and we were there for 2 years. And so while I was there with them at Forest Hill Stadium, I started asking them questions about where else do they do work? What other stadiums and what other venues in New York City do they have control over? And the U.S. Open was one of them. And so talking to them as well as to my state officials and city officials, my city council members, my state assembly person, my state senator, like everybody knows me. I make sure that they know who we are and what we do. And I think that with all of their help, we ended up last year as the first Black-owned business from Southeast Jamaica, Queens, to be a concession at the U.S. Open. And I'm just proud to say that we'll be returning again in 2023. We have a huge concession.
Congrats.
It's in Backyard 17, right underneath Court 12 and across from Court 17. So I hope if any of you come to the U.S. Open, I hope that you would come and support us there, as well as City Field, because we'll be at City Field until September 3rd.
Lovely. Thank you so much for answering that. I have to go for an emergency work meeting, but I would love to connect with you outside of this. And I look forward to playing back the video recording. So don't be startled that I'm leaving right now. I'm going to play this back and listen to all the conversations you guys are going to have. So I just wanted to introduce myself and let you know that I was getting off the line. But thank you so much for that answer, and all the best.
Thank you so much. You have a good rest of your day. And you will put my email. It's nourish.eden@gmail. We'll put it in the chat. Okay?
Okay, lovely.
All right. Have a great afternoon. Thank you for your question.
You too. Cheers.
Thank you, Derek. And yeah, thanks, Dawn. Anybody else has any other questions for Dawn? Actually, Dawn, maybe you can also talk about how you get yourself onto an Uber and NYC link.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So as a PR person, so I got to back up and say, I used to be the director of public relations at York College here in Jamaica, Queens. So that was one of my roles. And that's when I was first introduced to the Link NYC towers. I think you guys are familiar with them. They're the towers that have replaced all of the telephone booths. It's funny even saying that because you can't even find a telephone booth anymore. But the Link Towers actually replaced each of the telephone booths in New York City. And so, and when I was at York, I would use it to alert people in Jamaica of all of the wonderful things that York was doing and things that they could actually engage in. And so when we opened the Nourish Spot, of course, I reached out to them and had them tell the world about the fact that we opened. It's one day I was home and I was thinking, and I do a lot of that. I do a lot of when I'm resting, I'm thinking and dreaming of ways in which to further engage people. And so I remembered about Link NYC and thought that it would be a good idea if I could get them to promote the fact that we're still open here at our brick and mortar, but we have also ramped up our territory into City Field. And so I reached out to them. My daughter and I, we reached out to them, and voila, we have 4 kiosks going right now, 2 in our neighborhood and 2 right under the 7 train, because that's how most people get to City Field. And so we've actually seen benefits from us using that resource, because people have come up to the stand at City Field and told us that they actually saw the sign. And even today, I got an email from a gentleman that said he saw the sign as he was getting on the train today, on the 7 train today. I'm really pleased with that practice, right? And I would definitely suggest it to any of you entrepreneurs that have a service or a product or a location to try Link NYC. They do want to work with small businesses in New York to help you promote what you're doing. And it's a free service. You don't have to pay. One great thing, I told them that August was National Black Business Month, and they usually only give you 2-week run with your information. But because I told them it was Black Business Month, they're giving me a 4-week run. So I'm really, really happy about that.
That's great.
Other one, Ying, you asked me to talk.
The taxi.
Oh, okay. So Grubhub. Many of you, if you during COVID worked at home, many of you had to use food delivery apps to eat, right? Either Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats. So Grubhub is one of the partners for the Nourish Spot. I guess they really liked how I was promoting the fact that people could get food from us. And so they too contacted me about doing a commercial that featured me and my daughter and our food. I would say this, we initially met them in 2021 during Black Restaurant Week. They opened their doors to the organization that runs Black Restaurant Week, and we were invited in as one of the caterers. So that's how we initially met the staff of Grubhub. But then after that, we stayed in touch and they stayed in touch. They told me that they really liked how we engaged on Instagram and that they wanted to partner with us further. And so they came here and they did a commercial about us, and they put it all over New York City. They put it on in cabs, they put it on social media, they put it on internet, they just put it everywhere. And so I'm really proud. And that too helps us to further build our brand. Any of these opportunities that partners actually choose to tell your story helps even more than the things that I do on my own.
Thank you, Dawn. Yeah, so that's great. Anybody else want to again ask Dawn any questions or any comments, any thoughts, any other stories you want to share, yours or others? It's pretty informal session we have. It's really for you guys to connect, to share your stories, to listen to other stories, to get inspired and have fun. All right.
I don't have any questions yet, but I do want to congratulate Dawn. I feel like your story is so empowering because you are so bold, and that like just being around you, I feel like would inspire and motivate anybody to go after their dreams. So I think that's incredible. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much. Time to look at your handling. Thank you very much, Hannah. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're saying. And I would say that you're right. I would say that number one, I'm a little older, so I feel like time is not necessarily on my side. So I have to be bold about the things that I want. And I would say one more thing to you guys. When I started my business, I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. I did it afraid. Okay. And so I just want to say to everybody, if I could achieve where I am now, and I'm not finished, there's more that I want, right? But if I could get here, all of you could get here too. Okay. It just takes perseverance. It takes education and training. I went out and I tried my best to learn all that I can. I went to SBA. I went to SCORE. I took the Goldman Sachs 10K SB class. I took the Interrise course. I took a course from the Queens Economic Development Corporation. So I went and sought out training and education to fill the gaps that I needed. I hang out at the Queens Tech Incubator and get help from Ying and the interns all the time, as well as the interns from Queens College. They help me with marketing projects and things of that nature. So I've tried my best to engage with individuals and entities that could help me and the Nourish Spot move forward.
Thank you, Dawn. And Dawn provides a very good mentoring to our students as well. I want to acknowledge that. Anybody else?
Ask me.
Dawn,
yes.
What do you want to accomplish before the end of this year? What happened within 5 years?
Okay.
I think you should have a map, the whole world, the global map on your wall, and maybe you can expand to the whole world. Okay.
And Lee, your lips to God's ears. One of the hashtags that I use is that I have a ubiquitous brand dream. And I didn't mention this earlier, but in my corporate career, I traveled the world and I spent lots of times in airports. And in those airports, there's not always healthy food. I mean, there's good food, but it's not necessarily healthy food that you should be consuming when you are flying around the world. Because I'm well traveled, I've gotten the opportunity to see Shake Shack all over the world, to see Starbucks all over the world, to see McDonald's all over the world. And so I'm bold enough and crazy enough to believe that if they can be all over the world, so can the Nourish Spot. And so that's my goal. My goal is to see the Nourish Spot, not just all over New York City and the United States of America, but especially in countries that I've visited already around the world.
Know you well.
Yeah, if you can dream it, you will achieve it.
Thank you. Any more questions?
Anybody else?
I see my friends. I see people here I know. Marba.
Do you know?
I see Marba.
Hey, hi. Hey, Dawn. Sorry, my screen is blacked out. I'm working with a client in a client's office. But I'm here.
I just wanted to say hi. Thank you, Marba, for coming on.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
So anybody who doesn't know Dawn before, now you do, and you want to share anything with Dawn?
Well, I just would say to fill the air until somebody has a question. I would definitely recommend if you're a New York City business owner looking to be a New York City business owner, make sure you contact the SBA. Make sure you contact your local SBDC. Make sure you contact the Queens Tech Incubator. Make sure you contact the Economic Development Center in your area. Make sure you contact New York City Small Business Services, because all of these organizations, every single one, make sure you contact SCORE, okay? Make sure you contact the Chamber of Commerce in your area. All of these organizations have something to help you as a business owner move forward. Okay, whether it's contact, whether it's connections, whether it's information, they all have something to offer. And I would tell you that the Nourish Spot has benefited from all of our relationships with these organizations. And I dare say that these organizations have benefited from their relationship with the Nourish Spot as well. You know, entrepreneurship is challenging. Some days it's good, some days it's not. Hey, Ying, after I talk to you, 10 gallons of lemon fell in my car, so I have to go get my car detailed. So, like, some days are good days, other days are challenging days. Is in entrepreneurship, you have to find balance. I would tell you that I'm not always able to find balance initially, but I do persevere to get there. I don't lose my mind, because entrepreneurship is one of the most, I call it exhilarating, because it's challenging and exciting all at the same time. I think it's the only thing that I ever done besides raising children that has make my heart race as much as it does. I'm glad to be an entrepreneur. I'm proud of myself and my children and my staff, but I'm not going to tell you that this thing is not without tears, without reflection, without challenging yourself to do more and be more.
Don, you are a family business. So a family business, how do you feel like people want to include their relatives, children in their business? What's your advice for them?
My advice for individuals that are looking to establish a family business is make sure that those family members really want to be engaged, because it's a challenge. It's not easy. I'm in business with my son and my daughter. Initially, my son was not necessarily on board because he felt like we were taking his time. And my daughter, she helped me through the beginning. She's a chef by trade. She graduated from Johnson & Wales, so she actually helped me with everything when we first started. But then I would say that she got weary as well, because they're both young. They're in their 30s. The world is their oyster, if you will, right now. And they were looking to explore it. It's challenging to get them to understand the generational legacy part of it, but I just won't give up. I've figured out how to leverage the parts of them and the time that they offer to benefit us, so that they still feel like they have their life and whatever it is they want to do personally, but they still are invested with time and effort in the Nourish Spot.
I have a question, Don. I know you deeply care about your community and the youth, particularly in your community. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that, any plans to help or something you've done in the past, and how can other people help?
Yes, Ying, thank you for bringing that up. Something that's really important to me, helping the youth in my community. I actually live in the community where my business is, and I raise my children here. And I would tell you that I know for a fact that children can't be what they can't see. And so I never really saw myself as an entrepreneur or a business owner. I always saw myself as somebody's employee, because my father worked for the city, my mother worked for a bank. Everybody I knew had a job. And so I never really had a dream to be an entrepreneur. I had a dream to be like a high flying, well-paid corporate executive, which I made it to be. But then when my job was eliminated, once I got over my grief, it gave me room to dream again, right? About what could be next. And so I started hanging out with a lot of my friends who own businesses. And I actually started reading books that my friends wrote about owning businesses. And I don't know, it's like I got a little bug that was like, well, maybe you can do it. Like maybe if they did it, maybe you could do it. And also I'm a praying woman. I pray a lot. And so I just kept praying, and we have Nourish now. So I just believe that anything that we want to do in life, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's working, whatever it is, traveling, I think that if you really want it, yes, Bessie, my children are considered partners. They have interest in the business. Okay. When I get paid, they get paid. But it's important to put yourself and put your children into places that are not the usual, right? Give them the opportunity to think more broadly about what are some of the possibilities. And I think that is what I have been exposed to through my corporate work. I was more exposed to entrepreneurs and people that had their own businesses, right? Because I had to hire some of them sometimes, right? Inside the business, inside when I was working at Prudential. So that made me oh wait, maybe I could do this too. And so I'm glad that I took a leap of faith, even though I was afraid, and tried it. Like I said, here we are today, almost 7-8 years later.
So here's one more question.
Yes.
How do you see technology play a role in helping your business?
Okay, I'm gonna answer that, but I realized I didn't answer. I gotta finish the last one. I'm gonna answer that.
Okay. All right.
The other part of caring about my community is we established internship program here at the Nourish Spot. And so we work with all of the area high schools and nonprofits to make sure that any kid in our area that's interested in food and hospitality and customer service or sales could come work here as an intern after school, after they get out of high school. The day ends at 3, they can come to work here at 3, and as well as some college students. And luckily for us, we've been able to hire from that internship pool. So pretty much every single employee that I have that works here at the Nourish Spot first began as an intern, either a summer youth employment program participant, or they came through the Learn, Do, Earn program, or the CCAP program, or the other programs in New York City. Now, back to your question about technology. We use technology already, okay? One is our apps, our food delivery apps. That is using technology. Using Clover for online ordering, right? Using our website for online merch offerings. And I would tell you that I did talk to Yang about staffing has become an issue. It's hard to find and keep good staff. And so I've been looking at robotic arms. Robots are the wave of the future. Now, I'm not saying that I want to get rid of all my staff. I definitely want people to come in and engage with a person. But there is room to use technology. There is room to use kiosks where the customer just orders right from the kiosk, and then the kiosk tells the robotic arm what to make. So these are things that I'm thinking about, right? I'm giving myself room to dream about. I'm not saying that will be what we will ultimately do, especially not here in the community, but maybe when we get to the airports, because I'm hoping that one day you will walk into JFK or LaGuardia or Shanghai Airport or some airport in Japan, and you will see a Nourish Spot. And maybe in those places, you'll meet a robot.
Hopefully that day is pretty near. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Yeah, thank you. Anyone else? We still have like 4 more minutes. Anything you want to share? Questions, comments? That was very inspiring.
People here, by a show of hands, most of the people here from New York, or are you from other cities? Could you raise your hand if you're from New York?
But you can just type in the chat. Okay, so Helen's from New York. Yeah.
Okay, so I just really want to encourage you all to contact the New York City Small Business Services. They have so many opportunities for you guys. They have so many programs that you guys can use, as well as the SBA. I wouldn't be in business if I didn't have I didn't use I didn't engage with the SBA and the SBDC at your college. I would not be in business. So I really want to, and the New York City Small Business Services Unit. If it wasn't for those three entities, there would be no Nourish Spot. And so I really want to encourage you all to engage with them more than you do, because they have free and low cost programs and people that will help you move forward. And that's what's most important. In addition, I strongly encourage every single one of you, if your city council member or your president or your state senator or your state assembly member don't know you or your business, I double dare you and challenge you today to send them an email and let them know about your business and what you do. I would tell all of you that every single elected official, except for Chuck Schumer and President Biden, have not been at the Nourish Spot. My Senator Kirsten Gillibrand has been here. My congressional representative, Gregory Meeks, is a nourisher. State Senator Leroy Comrie has been here and he's a nourisher. State Assemblywoman Alicia Hyman is a nourisher. My council member, Natasha Williams, is a nourisher. So as you notice, I know them all by name, okay? It's important for them to know you by name, to know your business by name, and to know what your business offers to the community, so that when they know of opportunities, they can tap you for them as well.
That's well said. Thank you. That's awesome. Yeah. Manli, would you like to close out?
Yeah, thank you, Dawn. We have learned a lot, and you are the good examples for all the moms, all the entrepreneurs. So we know you will just, I don't know, you will fly everywhere soon. Okay. So thank you so much. And thank all the attendees that celebrate Black Business Month with us. We will see you next week. We have more talk. Thank you. And thank you.
Yeah. No,
thank you all. Have a phenomenal day. Come let us nourish you at the Nourish Spot.
Thank you. Anybody want more information about SBA, come and attend Manli's webinars. You'll learn a lot more. Thank you. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Manli. Thanks, everyone, for coming. Have a wonderful day. Okay.
A nice weekend. Yeah.
And have a great weekend. Yes.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye.